Everybody knows who MrBeast is. He's like the Santa Claus of YouTube, giving away cash, cars, and even an island once. He's sitting pretty with over 54 million subscribers, and is one of the biggest YouTubers on the entire website. That being said, he usually avoids YouTube drama, but this week he decided that he'd had enough with a certain Russian YouTuber who's been stealing from his channel. Let's talk about that. Just before we jump in, as a small but growing channel, likes, subscribers, and comments are really important to help the channel grow. So hit that like button, say hello in the comments, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much. Let's get back to the topic at hand. Like all good internet drama, this started on Twitter. MrBeast sent out a tweet to his 9 million Twitter followers that reads, "The largest channel in Russia just takes my thumbnails and photoshops his face on mine," with attached photos proving his point. The first one shows MrBeast's thumbnail for surviving 24 hours on a deserted island, and its Russian counterpart. Then there's last to leave the revolving door wins $50,000, which is my favorite of the bunch because this guy actually did a very decent Photoshop job, and there's just something about Russian bootleg Chandler that I find hilarious. Next is last to remove hand gets Lamborghini challenge, where the Russian channel recolored the car and changed the outfits and faces in the thumbnail to make it seem like it's an original photo, but if you look in the top left corner, he forgot to change the light that's hitting the lawn just behind the car, showing that it is in fact the same picture because there's no way that the light could be the same. He went to a lot of effort in that one for some reason, I'm not sure why. Lastly, there's $50,000 game of extreme hide and seek challenge, where the Russian YouTuber has taken the original thumbnail and removed Chandler to replace him with, well, I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. An alien? A ghost? Who even knows? All I do know is that it's kind of really deeply unsettling, whatever it is. So who is this mysterious Russian YouTuber? Well, as MrBeast noted, this guy is one of the biggest Russian language channels on YouTube. His channel name is A4, and he has over 28.4 million subscribers. Honestly, I don't speak Russian yet, so I can't really understand what he's saying in his videos, therefore I can't tell you whether or not he's just ripping off the thumbnails or if he's ripping off the videos as well. But what I can say is that for a channel with over 28 million subscribers to be stealing thumbnails like this is ridiculous. Now, MrBeast is incredibly successful at YouTube, so I can understand why people would want to copy him. But at a certain point, when you have millions of subscribers, literally 24 million subscribers, you've got to be making enough money off that channel to afford to pay somebody to make your own unique thumbnails. Especially with all that you have to lose if MrBeast decides to take action. Him calling out this channel might just be a warning shot, because MrBeast could probably take down these videos that use his thumbnails as part of a copyright claim, or at least force him to change the thumbnail. On top of that, this is the kind of thing that YouTube might just punish you for. One of the requirements to be admitted into the partner program is that your content has to be your own, and not just you using someone else's content, which was put in place to stop some of these channels that were popping up that were just re-uploading stream highlights or whatever. And I think that that policy would apply here as well. So this guy is literally at risk of losing his entire channel because he decides to just copy thumbnails for no reason and just Photoshop them. It makes no sense to me. And when you own a channel that has over 28 million subscribers, I just can't see why you would take that risk. You don't need to. There's nothing forcing you to. It's not like you can't afford it. It just seems like you have a lot to lose to be doing this kind of stupid thing. At that point, you can afford to pay somebody to make thumbnails for yourself. Not to mention that he could avoid all of this if he just imitated the thumbnails. Like if he got his friends around and they made the thumbnails but actually using their own pictures, instead of just straight ripping them off of MrBeast videos and then photoshopping his face over MrBeast. If they made the thumbnails themselves and copied him, it'd be completely different. I do want to say, however, that this guy has some serious Photoshop talent. That's one good thing for him, and it's probably why it's gone so long without anybody noticing. His Photoshop skills are pretty on point. I just don't understand why you would use Photoshop instead of just recreating them on your own, because most of MrBeast's thumbnails are not exactly hard to recreate. Actually thinking about it, he could just make his own unique thumbnails. He doesn't have to copy anybody anyway, so I don't know why I'm giving him that idea. And this isn't just a problem with the A4 channel though. I've noticed before that there's a lot of channels out there that upload in a foreign language, which will not only take the thumbnails from English-speaking creators, but will copy their entire videos. I've seen it so bad where in the video game community, somebody will just rip the gameplay from somebody else, and then they'll just dub over the English voice with their own voice in the foreign language, so nobody knows that it's actually an English-speaking person's video. It's a little bit genius, but also very, very corrupt and not something you should be doing. And the theft of content and thumbnails by foreign creators, it mostly goes unpunished by YouTube, and I think it's really for one simple reason. They don't have any way to find it. I'd hazard a guess to say that because the majority of content on YouTube is English, their moderation teams are English, most of them anyway. It would make no sense for them to have the same size moderation team in a foreign language as they would for English, and not to mention that there are so many different languages throughout the world. Therefore, when there is some kind of rule breaking going on, they just don't have the manpower to find all of it in other countries. They have plenty of manpower to find people violating the rules in the United States, but they just don't have the same manpower for foreign languages because it just doesn't make any sense for them to do that. And then on top of that, the creators themselves won't report this because most of them don't know what's happening. I mean, think about it. How many YouTube creators do you think speak more than 2 languages? Like, I can speak English and Spanish, but if somebody was to upload in, like, I don't know, German, I'd have no way to find that. MrBeast has no way to find Russian. I'm pretty sure that somebody else found that for him because there's no way he translated his video title into Cyrillic and then clicked on it. And I guess it's probably easier for him because his channel is very, very big. So, you know, people might see it more often and then send it to him. But for the average creator, there's no real way for you to check to see if your stuff's being stolen and re-uploaded in a foreign language. Because the only way you can do it is to type every single one of your video titles into Google Translate and then search those. So yeah, there's just no way that creators can find it, and there's no way YouTube can find it. So how do they solve this problem? If it takes creators and YouTubers to try to find it, that's one thing. But I think with this problem specifically, the biggest resource that's out there is you guys, the watchers, the viewers. When you see videos like this and you tell people like MrBeast about it, you kind of start the process of getting it fixed, because now MrBeast can tweet about it, and when MrBeast tweets about something, because he's such a big creator, YouTube listens. And that's the thing, YouTube, for whatever reason, the only way to contact YouTube's customer support is on Twitter, which is ridiculous. I mean, once you hit 100,000 subscribers, so MrBeast definitely is a partner manager. Once you hit 100,000 subscribers, you get a partner manager. And MrBeast definitely has one of those because he's one of the biggest channels on the website, so he could go through them. But he decided to go through Twitter because not only does it get YouTube's attention, it puts public pressure on YouTube to do something about it. Because people are seeing the tweet. MrBeast has 9 million Twitter followers. That's a lot more pressure on them to actually fix the problem than him going into his partner manager and saying, hey, this is an issue. Because the partner manager, they might help, but if there's 9 million people who are looking to have this resolved, it's going to get resolved a hell of a lot faster. And that's just how the world works. The more eyes are on something, the more it gets fixed. So I would suspect this A4 guy will have some trouble about this in the future. I'm sure YouTube will do something about it if MrBeast doesn't do something about it, because those thumbnails are technically his intellectual property, and he could, probably enforce that. I'm not a lawyer, but I'd say that he could probably do something about it, but I don't know what. I'm not a lawyer. Even if he doesn't decide to do something and YouTube doesn't decide to do anything, I think that MrBeast calling this guy out will hopefully get him to stop doing this again in the future. Now that he knows that eyes are on him, he'd be pretty stupid to keep doing it. But I also think that there's a good chance that he will keep doing it, and that's a little bit worrying. So, what do you guys think? Should there be some sort of punishment for stealing people's thumbnails like this and photoshopping your own face on there? I think that there probably should be. I think that because thumbnails are such an integral part of a video, getting people to click on the video, the click-through rate is very important on YouTube. I think that stealing somebody's thumbnail is basically like stealing their ideas. It's one thing if you recreate somebody else's thumbnail with your own work, but if you're just taking somebody else's work, changing a little bit, that's not your own work. That's just cheating. If you did that in college or high school, if you took your friend's homework and you just changed a couple things, but the teacher still found out that you were, copying his stuff somehow, you'd be in trouble. So you should probably be in trouble for doing this as well. That's just my opinion. I would love to know yours, so put that down in the comments below. I try to respond to every comment, and recently there haven't been as many comments as there used to be, so remember to hit that comment section up. Anyway, that's all I really have for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. You guys have a great day, and God bless you.